Hello, Savannah. And hello to my laborers in the vineyard. Happy Labor Day, everyone. I am so grateful to be joined by representatives of our local unions here in the coastal region. They were gracious enough to share share some of their holiday time with us here tonight. So we do not want to labor tonight's show. We want to jump right in. My goal is to educate the community more about the importance of our local unions, as well as helping them understand why local labor matters, what it is they do for our community, and how you can get involved. So, first up, I want to introduce everyone to Miss Christi Hulme, who is the president of the Central Labor Council. And then we have Mr. Jerome Irwin, who is the vice president of the Central Labor Council, but also serves as the president of the A. Philip Randolph Institute. We have Mr. Brett Hulme, who is a representative of our Carpenters Union, and Mr. Reis James. Reis, I always spell your first name wrong. I think you have like 3 first names, right?
Yeah.
Who represents our local iron workers union. Listen, thank you again for joining us here today. Christy, we'll start with you. As president of the Central Labor Council, you all have about 37 affiliates, and you help to galvanize almost 9,000 members. And generally, you serve as a collective voice for all of our unions in one location, essentially, and you provide for those solutions for our hardworking families and your members. Give us a little bit more information about what it is that you do and how the Central Labor Council coordinates all of these efforts.
Well, good team for one on coordinating the efforts, that's for sure. But yeah, just like you said, we're the political arm of local labor here, basically where we all can come under one umbrella because there's strength in numbers. And that's what we're about. We basically fight for the, working men and women. Currently, a couple of projects we're working on is raising the minimum wage and the PRO Act, which is the People's Right to Organize. And we represent probably about, just like you said, about 9,000 members. And, again, we're the political arm. So we're more heavily into the politics than anything. So we're the political side of the local labor.
And being on that political side, the important thing is you all help to promote and highlight or feature, if you will, some of the local politicians and candidates who are running and vying for offices. And I know that each of you had a strong presence in the 2019 election, as well as in this past senator election with Warnock and Ossoff. And so I think you have a pretty good track record in that you all, I would say upwards toward 90%. You endorsed 90% of the winners in the last election. And your support is very important because not only do members have this one location to sort of have a collective voice, but those members also enjoy some of the benefits of what you all have to offer, not only to the members, but also their family members with regard to credit cards, mortgages, insurance, and scholarships.
Yes, through our Union Plus program. That's at unionplus.org. There's a lot of great opportunities, discounts, and again, just the stuff that you pointed out as well. Also, too, there's workinamerica.org, which is a constituent of the AFL-CIO. I'm sorry, I went blank there. Basically, a member of the AFL-CIO. They have a lot of programs like that as well.
Okay, and I want to again help to educate some of our listeners here. And so the AFL-CIO is essentially the American Federation of Labor and Congress of Industrial Organizations.
Yes, ma'am, you got it. Yes, ma'am. Yes. I mean, that's a tongue twister. I can hardly get it right.
Yes. And so, Christy, how, workers and wages, That's something that I have been aggressively advocating for since my time on council. In addition to advocating for position for our local unions on some of our contractual agreements,
Yes.
recognizing that while we boast of Savannah first, Savannah can't be first if our labor is not first. And so, with that said, um, how do the listeners who may be interested in getting involved, how do they become a member? What are some of the prerequisites? And is there any membership fees?
No, there's no membership fees, but you do have to be a part of a union that's affiliated with us in order to be a member. But you can always, participate. Our doors are always open. If you're interested in what goes on with the Central Labor Council, you can email contact@savannahclc.org. And that basically will put you in the database where we update you on what's going on politically, what we're currently working on, and if they want to get involved, how they can get involved.
Okay, and again, that is contact CLC as in centrallaborcouncil.org.
Contact@savannahclc.org.
Okay, contact@savannahclc.org.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay, so we'll make a note of that in our chat later on. And so this brings me to Mr. Jerome Irwin of the A. Philip Randolph Institute. And you two are a part of this whole AFL-CIO. The A. Philip Randolph Institute essentially was started by a civil rights activist and advocate who worked for social justice as well as being a big labor unionist. This organization promotes the work of minorities and women. Tell us a little bit more about the A. Philip Randolph Institute and what it is that you all have been doing here locally. We know you've been involved in voter registration, Black Voters Matter, Get the Vote Out, but you have also supported workers in some of their strike options.
Yes, well, we are a bridge. We like to say we're a bridge between labor and the community and labor. We're that bridge that goes both ways. And we try to educate basically the Labor Council and the A. Philip Randolph. We do a lot of the same work. Ours is a little more community oriented than the Labor Council, but we do the work the same. We do most of the same work, and we try to work together to make sure that everything works out for the good of the community. Like you say, we do a lot of things. We do voter registration. We get in the community. We do food drives. We get out there. We work with some of the churches, and we do all sorts of community things. Now we are coming in contact with in partnership with a group called DEEP, and we'll be working with DEEP to help with the youth in the community. So we're getting involved in a lot of things, and labor will be working along with us, because one of our major things is we are a part of labor. We are the major constituency group for the AFL-CIO, and we get out there and we work hand in hand with labor.
Okay, and how can individuals become a part of the A. Philip Randolph Institute?
It's very easy. All they have to do is either get in contact with us on our website. Our website is 20APRISAV.org, or either call me at my number 912-704-7217, and we can get them and get them involved in what we're doing. If they want to work, we do a lot of volunteer work. We have some work that we can give stipends for, but a lot of our work is volunteer work.
Thank you so much.
And you know that we do a lot of things when it comes down to election time. We hold things like forums and things of that nature that really educate the community.
Yes, you all were very active as well during the election season. And I must add, you were very instrumental in helping to shepherd a number of us who are currently in office, as each of you have, in terms of, not only listening to our platforms, but listening so that you can hold us accountable to the rhetoric we spewed on the trail. And so the evidence of if we have put any teeth to those promises is still yet to be determined. But I want to double back and speak with Ms. Uh, Christi as well as Brett and Reis. We'll close out with your acknowledgement in terms of your participation with the city's largest construction project in the current history of Savannah, which is our arena project. Thank you so much, Mr. Irvin. Uh, Brett,
Yes,
my
ma'am.
friend, hey, listen, Local 256, Carpenters,
Yes, ma'am.
you all are responsible for essentially supplying the region with solid manpower, skilled carpentry labor. You operate a training center. Tell us more about this work that you do with our local carpenters to make sure that we not only have buildings that are erected, but they are erected with soundness as well as a skill that can be depended upon. But we are also making certain that these individuals are being paid a fair wage so that they can take care of the families of Savannah.
Yes, yes, thank you. The Carpenter's Apprenticeship Program is a 4-year program. It doesn't cost anything to get this education, but we do train our members. We train our members unlimited, even up to the level of supervision, as well as the other building trades, which you'll hear from Reis. Folks apply at 40 Telfair Place to come into the apprenticeship program, and assuming they have zero skill set in the carpenter trade, they will enter as a first-year apprentice. All of our programs are governed by the U.S. Department of Labor, Bureau of Apprenticeship Trainings. So we have a balance we have to keep as far as intake of apprentices to places of employment, because our programs are set up on an earn while you learn philosophy. So they may be in class a certain 40 hours a quarter, for example, with the carpenters, but the other 12 weeks they're on a job earning a wage and doing the practical application of what they were learned in class. The first thing we all do is teach them how to be safe through OSHA, because we want them to return to the house the way they left the house in the morning, just a little bit more tired. But the advantage to that is upon consistent employment, once they reach a benchmark, and it differs for each craft, of consecutive hours work, they will get family health care provided with zero contributions. And that's just an economic benefit on top of the wage that they're making and bringing home. To bring it closer to home, since you all went into office, the emphasis on local hire at the Arena Project, the Carpenters specifically have referred out 49 men and women to that project as of Wednesday next week.
Awesome.
This week. Today's Monday. Mm-hmm. So it's all good on our end right now, looking for people.
Well, that's good to hear. And so I would imagine while at your training center, you are getting people, carpenters, up to speed with regard to skill and the necessary attributes they need to not only perform the work, but to perform it safely. You are an insured body. So when these workers go out on these job sites, they have bonds, they're bonded and insured. And so we often run into the question of cheap labor versus skilled labor, cheap labor versus local labor. sometimes on these job sites, we drive up and we see dozens upon dozens of license plates that don't say Savannah, Georgia, or they are not a part of our local area. So a big part of your job becomes advocating and lobbying to have these developers and our government, as well as Chatham County government and our state government, select people locally to complete these jobs. How successful have you been in doing that?
Incremental, but it is going in the right direction. A lot of the forces in the decision-making process, such as yourself and some of your colleagues and other members of government, even on the state level, are starting to realize that if you can keep the work in the community, you end up with a healthier community.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, you end up with a sustainable community because you don't have the transient workforce passing through. That just helps the tax base overall, and then everybody benefits from that.
Thank you so much, Brett. And
Yes,
when
ma'am.
we come back around, what I want each of you to do is to highlight any special programs or projects you have going on that people may be interested in participating in, so that we can make sure we're making best use of this time and using this platform as a recruitment tool as well. Reis, ironworkers, listen, you are the heavy hitter of the bunch, right? You all specialize in major construction projects, from bridges to towers, the arches, World Trade Center. The ironworkers essentially focus on those pieces related to structural steel, architectural, ornamental metals, as well as rebar. Your whole goal is to recruit and retain safe and skilled labor. You have an amazing apprenticeship program as well, with Local 709. Tell us more about what it is you do, sir.
Alderman Kesha, thank you. I am the recruiter and business developer for Ironworkers Local 709. And we have a great apprenticeship training program. We're bringing in apprentices on a regular basis. Our union's been around since 1896. We've helped build the skyline of the United States. We currently have hundreds of ironworkers at the Vogtle nuclear plant working on that project. We also had ironworkers at the Savannah Arena. We did the glass exterior of the building, also the precast parking garage. But when we bring people in, often they don't even know how to spell the word ironworker. So we bring them in from the ground up. We'll train them how to be an iron worker. We'll put a huge emphasis, like Brett said, on safety. A lot of potential hazards in what we do. We work up in the air. We're working with heavy equipment and machinery. So we get them well versed how to recognize hazards, how to protect themselves from hazards. And then we emphasize the importance of being productive, and being highly trained and highly skilled and efficient. And so we spend 4 years with them, just developing their skills as a welder. When they graduate, they'll be a certified welder with the American Welding Society. We'll give them training in rigging, which is basically the moving of heavy equipment and machinery, the setting up, erecting, and dismantling of cranes, hooking materials to cranes, signaling the cranes, architectural, ornamental. We're in the pulp and paper industry, the sugar refineries, maintaining those facilities. So there's a lot to our trade, a lot that we're doing. And so for 4 years, we're just pouring into our apprentices, emphasizing the importance of being full of integrity, full of skill, with safety first and foremost in their mind. And we're seeing some great results in it, and we're looking forward to the future.
You on mute.
Can't hear.
You on mute.
Can't hear you.
No. So just as Brent said, there is no cost for our training. So those 4 years of training are paid for by our contractors. And not only are they getting classroom and hands-on training, they're getting their on-the-job learning, and that's where they're getting paid also. So the motto stands true again, earn while you learn.
Don't feel bad now. Don't feel bad. I had it happen to me the other day, so don't feel rained on. Well, while she's doing that, the A. Philip Randolph Institute will be doing COVID drives to get the COVID shots. We'll be out working, setting up different spots to get COVID shots, and working with different entities in different neighborhoods in order to do so. One of the things that we are enjoying doing right now is getting in with the DEEP organization. It's it's an organization with nothing but the youth.
What does DEEP
And
stand for? What does DEEP stand for? Does it stand for something?
You're asking the wrong person now. I'm just becoming a part of them. We don't have all of their acronyms now, but
I understand.
yeah, but it's a great organization. Anytime you're trying to take teens off the street and do something with them, that's a great organization. That's what we need more of, more organizations to come together and work with the teens. Like we did with the Building Futures program. We went into the high schools and got kids out of high school and start putting them in the apprentice programs. And that was a great thing to do. So A. Philip Randolph has a program also that we have a free college tuition program. So all that will come into play in the near future. Are
That's
you back
awesome.
yet? Yeah.
I think
Okay,
I am. Thank
You
you
are.
for continuing. Thank you for continuing and sharing information related to your COVID drive. Is there anything else going on with any of the other groups you want to mention?
No, as a
just like to say
CLC, we're
that-
more geared towards our members. So, we work with the public. We do events. Like our next one's going to be the fish fry. Unfortunately, we had to cancel the Labor Day picnic event because of COVID. But we are looking forward to the April fish fry, which what we do is we ask our elected officials to come out and speak with their constituents. It's a, great day. Usually in April, it's a beautiful day, and it's a great time for all. So.
Okay, we hope to get back to some of those events very soon. It was always nice to see everyone. Reis, what were you going to say?
Just wanted to say that, great career opportunities with the iron workers. We have excellent wages and benefits, meaning health care for them and their family, and retirement money. We're productive. We have to be because of the wages we're paid. Our contractors are counting on us. We have a great group of contractors that support us and pay us livable wages. And so I just encourage people, if they like to work with their hands, be outdoors, have a sense of satisfaction at the end of the day so they can look back and see what their hands have done, come on out and see it.
That's
We're at
awesome.
131 West Side Boulevard, Pooler.
Brett?
Thanks for having us, Alderwoman Carter. I mean, this is tremendous, and I appreciate you recognize the folks that actually make a difference and set the standards for all working people, not just union people.
Yes.
Specific to the trades, really equal employment. We run about a third of our apprentices, minorities and women. So you'd be fascinated to learn how many women are getting into the trades and really making a difference for your gender. They make great apprentices, and they end up making great journey and we're learning to say people now instead of journeymen. But it's a true equal opportunity. If you can do the work, you earn the wage. End of sentence. It's that simple.
I love to hear that. I love to hear that. One of the things with regard to women being a big part of what it is that you all do, we do know that there are some deficiencies individuals face as they seek to work. You know, Georgia was big on banning the box. With regard to past criminal history, what are some of the prerequisites or what are some of the disqualifying factors that would preclude individuals from gaining entry into some of your apprenticeship programs? I would like to see strong partnerships or a pipeline, if you will, with some of the programs like Future Minds, which is a literacy GED program, and the Front Porch, which serves as a sort of like a catch basin before kids get into big trouble. They go to this program to sort of help steer them the right way. How liberal are you with regard to extending opportunities to individuals who may have a tiny bit of a mishap in their history?
Reis, you want to take that or you want me to go?
Sure. With us, I mean, basically, if a person is 18 years old, they have reliable transportation, high school diploma or a GED, we'll take them in as an iron worker. We have people with all sorts of backgrounds that work with us. Some of the areas that we work in are more restricted than others. If you're working on a nuclear facility, they're going to do a background check on you. If you work in an airport, existing school, same thing. But there's lots of avenues for iron workers, you know, no matter what their background, to work with us. We're just looking for people that are willing to have the fire on the inside of them to get out and do our job. I mean, you know, to weld, to erect structural steel, to, you know, get out there and get the job done.
Great. Brett, you want to add to that?
Yeah, we can train anybody. The only prerequisite right now is 17 and a half years old. The challenge comes, as Reis correctly pointed out, the majority of our work is in high security areas, the power plants, the military installations, the ports. That's not to say we can't place them elsewhere, but we let these candidates know up front the reality of the situation. And ironically, they're not all that surprised. They're very appreciative that we're up front with them. Where that comes into play, where you don't have such a strict background check, is in the commercial work. And at the end of the day, it's the employer's choice, because we can train them, but they have to place them and pay them. So then you get into the liability cost and everything else, which is a whole different conversation. But to answer your question, from our perspective, age is the only prerequisite with us.
Right. Well, it's my hope that as we go forth, we will continue to have these platforms and similar to showcase these apprenticeship programs, because I'm hopeful that some of the nonprofit leaders who work with our at-risk youth, as Mr. Irwin can attest to, all they need is an opportunity. Everyone is not college bound. Everyone does not have an interest in a 4-year education, but we do recognize that there are still qualities in the hands. Skills like carpentry and plumbing and ironworking, it's almost a lost art because people are off the grid where these opportunities are concerned. And so we want to serve as a conduit to introduce you to some of these nonprofit organizations who work with youth and give them an opportunity to come out and do a tour and visit your facilities and see the apprenticeship programs in action. I would never forget the faces of those individuals who sat in your classrooms. And you're right, it was quite a diverse group. of individuals, and I was pleased to see as many women as I did men. And it was a mix with regard to race as well. So we're hopeful that we can, take a step from all of the distractions and get down to the good work that we set out to do and that we promised to do on the campaign trail. Is my hope as we finalize the little bit of the second half of the year that we have left. And so, as you all know, we just increased the wages by 3% of our local City of Savannah staffers. In my opinion, in my humble opinion, that's not enough for people who make less than $40,000 a year. If you make $120,000 to $150,000 a year, that's a good bump for you. But for our sanitation workers and those who are barely making $15 an hour and who are right at $30,000 or $40,000 an hour, by the time the insurance premium goes up or the property taxes that we just raised go up, there goes your raise as well. And so I want you all to give consideration to continuously helping us advocate for our local governments. We here in the coastal region, our governments, Chatham County and the City of Savannah do not have unions. And so the staffers are left with the advocacy of our political representation. And so I will lean and yield to you for support as we continue to advocate to increase the wages of our government citizens. In addition, we also know that almost 30+% of Savannah's population work within our hospitality industry. It pains me to say out loud that those individuals are hard pressed to make between $10 and $12 an hour. And they are by far the hardest working people in this city. And if we want to have a claim of fame of tourism being the backbone of Savannah, I think we need to put some teeth to it and start paying our workers within our hospitality industry a livable wage, or else I'm going to need you all, Miss Christi, to help me figure out how to unionize our hospitality industry.
Absolutely. I'm there. I'm there. I mean, you're singing my tune right now. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It's been far too long that these individuals have made Savannah, but for them to have to leave their jobs after working 8 and 10 hours, cleaning toilets and making beds, and go to another job just to pay this exorbitant rent that we have here in Savannah is just not good. We have to get off of that hamster wheel.
Yes, we
do. So
listen,
I want to thank you all so very much. And I want to extend an invitation for you to join me again, maybe with some of our partner nonprofit organizations, to talk about how we can bridge the divide and create a pipeline of our youth so that we can also work toward eradicating some of the violence that we are experiencing in our community where youth are concerned. So listen, I have this, you've made my labor night. You've made my labor night. I appreciate each of you for joining us. Thank you so very much. And you have a good rest of the evening.
Well, happy Labor Day to you. And thank you for all that you do.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Thank
you, all the women.
It has been a pleasure.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. So now, Savannah, I will be joined shortly with a breaking edition of Kandily Kesha with candidate for mayor, Mr. Julius Hall. We're going to talk a little bit about his platform and his plans for the city of Port Wentworth. And I think he is coming in right about now.
Oh, you're a magician.
It's working. I'm getting a little bit better at this as we go. So you are determined to make me an expert at this, and I'm going to stop resisting and just try to go with the flow.
That's right. Because you're a natural. You just, Sam ought to be there teaching you, because Sam is awesome.
I'm listening. He is. He is. He is like the man. He is the man. And
Yeah.
I just let him have his way. And I just pretend to do all of this. So
Yeah.
until I can find my lane and do what it is that I do best, I'm going to keep doing this so that the citizens of Savannah will continue to hear my voice and know that we are advocating for you on every end. And that advocacy doesn't stop here in Savannah. My advocacy is also extending to the great city of Port Wentworth, where we have candidate for mayor, Mr. Julius Hall. We're so excited that the work that you have done in community, you are expanding your reach now in your own community. You are actually from Savannah. You've done a lot of work in Savannah for dozens of politicians who served in office and who are currently in office. And through that good work, we are trying to do the best that we can here in Savannah. But you see a need in your own backyard, right? So how is it that you can go and help somebody else when you can't even help your own people? And so you've answered the call. So, sir, tell us about your platform and your plans, and what was it that inspired you to run for public office?
Well, my platform is just so large because there's so much to do here. I'm talking about it is a whole lot to do here. And I have a 15-point platform, which is too large for me to talk about. But I can talk about some of the things that I'm going to do, which is attract new business, which this city is not doing. I want to bring in a diverse uh, chamber of commerce so that we can diversify the business infrastructure here. I want to reform our police department because this is a very unfriendly city. I don't want the police to stop doing their job. I just want them to do it better. We shouldn't have to ticket our way out of things. We got enough warehouses and stuff around here to support this city. This city has $37 million sitting in the bank doing nothing. I want to bring in that staff, that support group that will help us to build this city. We need people with vision in this city, and that's something that we don't have right now. We just gave a $500,000 contract to a new chamber, got rid of the chamber that was here for 12 years, doing a great job. And we just gave a $500,000 contract to a group of people who don't even have an address to run the business out of, who've never ran a chamber before. It's partisan politics here, and it's the good old boys system, and we're going to change that here. I want to bring the cat bus service here, because it needs to extend all the way to the county line. This is Chatham County. It's the Chatham Area Transit Authority, and we need to do that. I want to bring some recreation here so that every time we want to do something with our families, we won't always have to go to Tybee. We won't always have to take our money to Savannah or Pooler or Effingham. So it's a lot to be done. I want to have some transparency. I want to have some accountability, accessibility. Got to have things where people can trust the government. I know people saying, how could you say it? Well, I'm looking at it every day for the last 8 years that I've been living out here. It's not this government and is not functioning the way that it should to be the second fastest growing city in the state of Georgia. We're the slowest city in the state of Georgia. We don't have one place where you can get your tire changed or your oil changed. We don't have one dentist, not one doctor, not one lawyer. We don't have anything here that these other cities have because there was no vision to bring these things in. They're getting rid of a chamber that is diverse and going to bring in some people. I don't even want to talk about those people anymore because they'll be saying I'm back that I'm racist or something. But half of the people on it can't speak English, and this is America. I mean, I'm not going to run from it. They always talk about.
And when you say English, these are Americans. They just don't use proper English.
Well, a couple of them are not. So no.
Okay. No,
a couple of them are not. They had one group that gave a presentation that none of them spoke English.
Oh, wow.
So how the hell are you going to do something for this government? They came up and told us that they were going to hire somebody to do the work for them.
Oh.
What kind of mess is this? And they were given a good look. They were given consideration. But it's a lot. One of the things that we got to do with this community is get to know the people. And when my first 4 years over, I want everybody to know and be able to say that the mayor knows my name. When I'm finished, you will be able to say that I know your name because I'm going to the community. I'm going out to the businesses. We're going to have a great working relationship with the business and the community. And we're going to have town halls. I helped get this mayor elected. Everybody, I know people are saying no, that, well, only one person is saying that's not true. That is absolutely true. I worked on this campaign when he ran the last time. And I told him I was going to run against him if he didn't do what he was supposed to do. And he has not done what he's supposed to do. So here I am. It was placed on me, not that I wanted to run, but I was put in this position to run because I think that I can make things better here.
Great. So listen, you said that Port Wentworth is the second fastest growing city in the state of Georgia. That's fascinating to me. Your growth, is it growth by way of the population and building of houses, more people moving to the area? Are they staying in apartments? Or have you experienced a number of new site developments or home developments, if you will?
Well, it's a combination of both. We have a bunch of warehouses going up, which is businesses for and jobs for the citizens of Port Wentworth. I think we probably got the lowest unemployment rate probably in the county because people moved out here that they didn't need a job. They already had a job. We have a subdivision that I live in. It's 550 homes. Across from me in Rice Hope, it's almost 600 homes. We got a subdivision, two subdivisions on Highway 30 with 650 and almost 900 homes. So we've grown from 3,500 people to anywhere between 12 and 15,000 now. So it's really growing. And then the businesses, we got to have something that will make these people want to stay here, that will make them want to spend their money here, that will want them to come visit and shop here. We don't have that in place right now. And these people that are in office now, the administration now, the current administration doesn't have that type of vision to want to do that. They think that everything is great, and they don't mind being stuck in 1940.
And I remember hearing a part of your presentation before, and you mentioned developing something akin to what we have on River Street by way of a tourist destination. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we have access to the dock, to the river. We have two or three places where we have access to the river. One, the port has it, so we can't get that. The other is another company that went out of business. And I don't think that we can get that, but that's something that we need to look into because I see that land as being somewhere where we can dock with them dredging the river now, where we'll be able to dock cruise ships. That's something that we need to look into, having the cruise ships leave out of Savannah. And then the other, the main access to the river, where what you're talking about, where I want to develop, the only people that has any use for it is the people with a boat. And then half of the people with the boat don't even live in Port Wentworth.
Oh, wow.
They come from Effingham and Savannah and Pooler and everywhere in the county and outside the county to our ramp to use. There's no charge or anything. I don't see where nobody's being charged for that. But I don't want to too much look at charging them at this point. What I want to do is develop that for everybody to be able to use so that we can have a mini River Street at the Houlihan Bridge area going into South Carolina, because we sit right on the South Carolina border. Port Wentworth does. And there's land to be developed out there. There's just no vision with the people that are running the city to do anything. And we got to bring that in.
Well, I'm excited to see all of this come to fruition. You said it's a lot, but it doesn't sound impossible.
No.
I think that there is hope for Port Wentworth in the intrepid work of the candidates who are vying for office. We wish you all well. And I am confident that in November, you will be the new mayor of Port Wentworth. And so we will look to celebrate with you when that time comes. In the interim, if you need anything from us at all, just give me a call. And we
I
want to
just
thank.
I just want to tell everybody, we got some legal issues coming up, and I want everybody to pay attention to it. Don't get caught up in all the hype, because that's what they want. The devil is busy, but God is able.
Right.
And they're challenging the qualifications for me to be able to run, but I have the law on my side. So in the end, I believe that we will prevail in the law. If they read it right, the burden should not be on me to get the courts to clear up something that is kind of cloudy. The burden should be on whoever brings the challenge, the petitioner who has a problem with me being running for mayor. They know that they can't beat me out here, Alderwoman. They know that they can't. I have talked to the people. I have gone to the people. They have never in 4 years come to the people. I helped make this mayor the mayor. I was at his watch party on the night that he won. Right here in my subdivision, we held a watch party for him. And they know that they have never been back here in 4 years. Never. They don't come to the people and talk to them. I promise you that we'll have regular quarterly town hall meetings with the people. I'll be at every business in this city, me and my mayor pro tem. We'll be everywhere in this city talking to people, getting them engaged, getting them involved. So it's going to be a new type of government. I just need everybody to pray for us that we get through this hurdle. I don't know whether we'll know a decision Friday from the city. If the city doesn't give us a favorable ruling, then we'll be going to Superior Court for an emergency hearing. So I believe that the law is on our side. If anybody wants to see that hearing, you can go on the Pope Wentworth Facebook page and view that hearing from Friday. It's about an hour and 10 minutes or so. I want y'all to look at it and see what's happening. We cannot stand by and hope that everything is going to be all right. We got to be involved, and that's what I do. I get involved. I don't sit back and hope that things will change. I try to interject myself so that I can be a part of the change.
Right. Well, and that's all you can do. And I would suggest that you continue in that vein and recognize this scenario for what it is. I deliberately didn't mention the whole set of shenanigans just because I feel like that's a distraction. And,
it is.
The greatest enemy of direction is distraction. And from starting with the fact that a private citizen made this charge, and to see that the city attorney for Port Wentworth was advocating almost as strong as the person who brought the charge. So I was a little bit confused as I watched. I was like, so is it the city of Port Wentworth or is it this guy, Jody Hawks? Nonetheless, that is what it is. But I'm hopeful that the individuals who are the individual, I understand that it's the clerk who is the decision maker, would exercise the intelligence that the listeners were exercising. Because if you go back and you look at the feed and you see when you see the messages or the comments from people who were watching, I would imagine that most of them were watching with an impartial eye, and they could even see through it.
You're absolutely correct. And the people are on my side. They understand. I didn't hide anything about what happened 30 years ago. I don't run from that. I'm not ashamed. I mean, I am, but I can't keep being ashamed of anything. I can't keep being embarrassed of anything. I got to move my life forward and move forward. That's the only way I know. I can't look backwards because I'm going forward. So right. I'm a tomorrow thinker. I'm not a yesterday thinker. I'm a
Right.
tomorrow thinker. All we can do is look back from yesterday and say, let's not make that mistake again. But we're going to march this city forward. I believe that the city will do the right thing. I'm hoping and praying that they do. If not, I know that the courts will. So we'll be on the ballot in November. We need everybody to, if you know somebody out here, call them. If you, we're going to win regardless. If I'm not on the ballot, we're still going to control City Hall because they cannot win any seat. The people are calling me to come and talk. I have 2 events that I have to go be the keynote speaker here in Poe Wentworth too. I've talked to several churches already. I just left a meet and greet just now. It is a whole lot of energy for change here because they know that this is the good old boy system that we need to get rid of. And that's what we're going to do one way or another. We're going to get rid of them through me being the mayor and bringing that slate of candidates on with me, or just that slate of candidates will have the majority to rule the council. So we're going to do what we have to do here to make things better. Y'all will be able to come here without being in fear of being profiled. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you, you will not have to drive through Port Wentworth and be worrying about being profiled.
Well, that we're certainly glad to hear that. And speaking of energy, can you tell me where you get your energy? Because between all of the work you do here in Savannah, the work you do for ATR, and the work you do for Port Wentworth, and your whole household, your wife is committed to the Chatham County Board of Education. Where do you get your energy?
I just don't stop. I figure if I stop, then you and Alicia will stop because we all do it together. You know, some days I know you just beat up. You just say, I'm too tired. You know, and I know that y'all are everywhere. You know, y'all wear Burnetta out. She be trying to hang on, but she can't. She go wherever she can, but y'all wear her out. Y'all go everywhere. And I get that energy and that inspiration from seeing that you all are advocates for the people. And that's what it's about. It ain't about you all. It ain't about me. People, thinking that I got some ego. I don't need to be the mayor. I got 3 books I'm writing. I just finished one. But I want to be the mayor because I want to make everybody's lives better here in Port Wentworth. I know how to make things better around me. That's what I'm good at. Everywhere I've been, everything around me got better. It don't matter where it was. Everything around me got better when I went. So it's about change. It's about positive change. It's about growth, and it's about diversity. A lot of people don't like to talk about color, but we cannot run away from the 800-pound gorilla in the room. It's about equity. It's about being fair to everybody. Being fair to everybody is just a challenge that we are going to have in all of Chatham County. And the Port Wentworth, my advocacy for Port Wentworth just doesn't stop at the Port Wentworth city line. I have all of Chatham County. I have friends everywhere. So wherever I can be a difference maker at, that's where I'm going to be.
Right. And speaking of that, I mean, from what I've seen in terms of the people who are supporting your campaign and working on your campaign, you have as much white and Hispanic support as Black support. And so that's encouraging. Listen, I did not expect for you to say that you get your energy from watching myself and Alderwoman Miller Blakely, but that's inspiring. And I want to say to you that just as I don't think what I'm doing is about me, and I would have picked that answer last, you have to recognize that where you are now is not about you. What you are going through as a result of what you've been through is also not about you. But what this is more about, however we come out on the other side, which I think it will be victory, what you have done is inspired someone who was hopeless. You have inspired someone who was feeling helpless. You have inspired someone with a similar history and background, or feeling like they were rejected and not accepted and couldn't rear their head in public again. You will never know the number of lives you have touched through your candidacy. And if you have done that through your candidacy, I can only imagine the work the Lord will have you do through your service to Port Wentworth. So, sir, I want to thank you sincerely from my whole heart for your family's dedication to the community, and wish you well. And thank
I
you so much
appreciate you.
for all you do for ATR and all the shows, including mine. We appreciate you.
I appreciate you, and I appreciate everything that you're doing in the community. I appreciate your support and your prayers. I know that the prayers that you all are sending up will be victorious for me. So we just need to stick together. Not only we're going to build Chatham County from the outside in. We're coming from Port Wentworth to Pooler to Bloomingdale, and we're going to bring it all the way around. We're going to trap it all in Savannah, and in 20 something months we're going to change the government there again also. I know y'all saying, no, what are you doing meddling over there? No, it's about all of Chatham County. It ain't just about Port Wentworth. It's about, I can't be narrow-minded. You know, somebody told me the other day that, what he's going through is karma. God got me going through this, so it ain't no karma. You got to understand what karma is. There's nothing bad happening to me right now.
Right.
Whatever happens to me is for the betterment of somebody else.
Yes, sir.
So it don't matter about what I'm going through because I'm all right.
Yes, sir. Well, listen, we're so grateful, and I know that the labor unions will be able to count on you for all of that development you have planned too, right?
Oh, ain't no question. It's a lot of development, and it's a lot of that I'm gonna have to be talking to Brett and Christi and Jerome Irwin and Reis. It's a lot of stuff that we need to be doing here. It's a lot of people that I need to talk to. I'm gonna tell you a secret. It's a lot of stuff that's on that people are waiting that have called me and told me that as when I'm mayor, they're bringing things here. They are bringing businesses here. I got some big companies that want to come here and build and want to look at this project on the river. It's a lot of stuff that's going to happen and change in this city. And I just want everybody to know, just keep praying for us, and we're going to be that change that everybody's looking for.
Well, thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your time. And again, thank you for your commitment to community.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Savannah, and good night. I love you.
Good night.